Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Kalaya coming at you with another lesson. Prior to getting started, I'd like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to free elect. Shalom. All right, in this particular lesson, I'm gonna address a few things. All right, and a few things for to be mindful of when you're dealing with the ministry. All right, it's gonna cover a general sense of basically attacking the ministry, right? It's not only for you heathens, but for also Jake as well, man. Okay. But nevertheless, I want to kind of harp in on the book of Esther, kind of going into the situation with Haman. You know, and I was basically evaluating certain things that has happened this year in the world of Israel, right? In the cosmos of Israel. And, you know, a lot of shit has transpired. All right, from the beginning of the year all the way to now, which we're going into September, so-called, right, September or whatever. But nevertheless, one of the things that I kind of, you know, was looking at, I was actually going over some shit for a whole nother lesson, but this kind of just took the cake, you know. And I'm trying to remember what that dude's name is. It was I forget his name. He in prison now. But he used to be with that guy Sinetta, coming against the apostles and the different elders and bishops who in which defended the gospel. All right? We didn't bear up arms, we didn't put up mockery videos, you know, bashing those dudes. Now we simply mock those men, who was causing division, mock those who were speaking against the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and that was a wrap. And the Lord did the rest, man. You see? And that's what I want to get into, right? Because we're coming into some times where heavy persecution is gonna you know, start to ensue. Right? We're finna start feeling the hammer coming down, man, from Esau Edom. And also from 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. 2/3 of our own people are going to persecute us. All right, whether it be with swelling words, whether it be with threats, whether it be with actually trying to harm the men of the Lord. All right, that's coming to this ministry. All right, to those that preach the gospel truthfully. All right. So I want to start off with the book of Esther. This is on the book of Esther, chapter 3 and 7, and it reads, in the first month, that is the month of Nisan, in the 20th. Oh, let me put on do not disturb saliva. Yeah, from the top again, verse 7, it says, in the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, which Ahasuerus is actually the king that was in that move 300 Xerxes. All right, when you go into that word Ahasuerus, is going back to Xerxes. All right. It says they cast pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. And Haman said unto the king Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersing among the people in all thy provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. All right. And so basically what he's doing is this guy Haman, which is going to go into his origins, all right, where he come from and things like that. And I'll give a brief understanding on who those people actually are, all right? But, you know, this guy, he's basically telling the king, hey, there's a certain people, which we understand those are the Israelites, that are basically in your land that you rule, and they don't follow your ordinances, okay? They don't believe what you believe. They don't pray to who you pray to. All right. So we're gonna see. Well, really, the book of Esther is it's a beautiful story of how somebody tried to frame a particular person, which his name is Mordecai, of being an evildoer, and the roles reversed. You see, and a lot of these different guys, man, is really bugging me that I can't remember that dude's name. But real quick, that guy, he said that the apostles were. Let me see if I can write it down real quick. I don't even think I'm gonna show that. It's Grapus, right? And he ended up being charged and also convicted of that same act, man. You know, he went out sad, man. He went out bad. You know, and then you have this last guy who was into some lewd acts, you know, coming against the ministry, coming against the apostles, and that really the ministry, man, of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, and he went out sad. He went out bad, man. And this the book of Esther is a beautiful correlation to what's going on now in today's time, because not only are those big examples, you know, pretty much reflecting what's going on here, but you also gonna have certain things in your personal life where you're gonna have, like I said, family members, people at your job, right? Neighbors, all these different examples that I'm naming, they're gonna try to come at you. They're gonna try to you know, bring blame, right, to what you do, right, and how you live. And ultimately, man, the hammer is gonna fall back on them. You see? It says, verse 9, Esther 3:9, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it to the king's treasury. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. All right, and it's a like I said, I'm gonna just give a brief understanding of who the Agagites are, all right, and Haman, because his lineage actually goes back to those long noses, man, all right, those 1948ers. You see, the so-called Jews, right? Because according to the scriptures, the actual Jews are the northern tribe, not the northern tribe, the southern tribe, all right, of Israel. Okay. You men of Negro, Haitian, and West Indies descent, man. You see, that was the actual JEWs, right? Because what the Jews that we know today, those Jews are over there, right, in our homeland, calling it theirs, right? Those are the people in which the Bible speaks of, right? The devil, you see? But their lineage goes back to being Agagites, man. Right? But yeah, it says the Jews' enemy. That's our sworn enemy, man. Our sworn enemy. All right. So that's the premise of what happened. All right, he tried to basically bring fault unto the Israelites, all right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He tried to bring, you know, sow discord with the king. But he didn't know that King Ahasuerus, the Lord was moving. The Lord is in control. You see? The scriptures tell you, the heart of the king is in the Lord's hands. But this is how shit played out. I'm going to jump to Esther 7 and what did I have written? Yeah, 7. I'm going to read down to 10. And it reads, it says, and the king, arising from the banquet of wine, in his wrath went into the place, into the palace garden, and Haman stood up to make requests for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine, And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. So basically, Haman tried to plead to Esther. All right, Esther was a Israelite woman, all right, who basically found favor in the king's eyes. You see, and the king basically made her a queen, so-called, right? So he tried to go beg for his life, and you know how dramatic fucking Edomites be, man. This dude, he fell all on the bed, all right, begging her, and the king came in. And what, you know, as a man, if I see another man in my abode, my woman laying in the fucking bed, all right, and you all over the bed and shit, what you gonna think? All right, so that's what the king thought. It says, and Harbana, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. You see, so the same shit, all right, in which, you know, this guy, he basically, you know, tried to, Slocky, they had a call, just fucked up my train of thought. So basically he had the king prepare gallows, right? Which are these little, it's these stations in which you see in the old movies, especially like medieval movies, in which it's like there's a hole in the bottom, then you see the ropes, right? And they pull the lever, right? And sort of floor drops and the person get hanged like in the center of the city, all right? That's what he had prepared for Mordecai, all right? Which Mordecai was an Israelite man. You see, he was a righteous man, all right? And they even in this particular passage, it said the gallows in verse 9, the gallows were 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai. You see, so he had measured Mordecai and had the rope hang about just, you know, perfectly for Mordecai, which he made his own bed, man. You see, the Lord returned the favor upon his own head. All right, and that's what's happening to a lot of these people, all right, that come against, all right, the men of the Lord, all right, our apostles, our elders, all right, elder bishops, all the way down to the least of us, man. You know, so be careful what you say about men. You don't know their office. You don't know their lot. You don't know, you know, how the Lord think about these men. Just because you might see a man a little rough around the edges, you know, maybe not in a great estate, hey, the Lord might really, you know, his heart might be towards that man. And he'll have the evil that you set for him return upon your own pate. All right, what did I have? I'm going to get the Romans out the way. Because damn, I don't even got my watch on. I'm going to be getting out of here soon. Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 18 and 6, and it reads, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. And that's in red letters. That's Yahushua speaking. It says, woe unto the world because of offenses. For it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. You see, so, hey, those that try to cause men to fall, all right, in this ministry, man, there's a heavy price to come. All right, it says offenses must come because it's prophesied. All right, Hey, Yahushua was offended. You see, offenses was brought unto him. Okay? Scriptures tell you that the servant is not no better than the master. What Yahushua went through, we must go through. It's a rite of passage. You see? So it has to happen. Hey, but Yahushua specifically said back in verse 7, but woe, which woe goes into destruction, says, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. All right? So that man, hey, you're going to see. But this is the Lord, man, talking. He's telling you, man, if you offend one of these little ones, it was better for him that a millstone was hanging about his neck. All right? And a millstone is a very heavy, how could I say, agriculture tool. You see? It grinds. It grinds up grain and different things of that nature. It's a big stone, and it rolls around, and it grinds things to powder. All right. It said he should put a millstone around his neck and go drown himself. That's how Yahushua feel about those that offend, man. So be careful with your tongue. And that's why I brought this out, man. Because a lot of these different guys, they believe they have the truth or they have the way. All right, but they don't. They don't. The Lord got them in a trick bag, just as he got Esau Edom in a trick bag. All right. Sirach chapter 28 and 18. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have fallen by the tongue. You see? Hey, that tongue is the most powerful weapon. All right, a lot of people talk themselves, all right? They spitbox themselves, all right, into the judgment. You know? And I just had me thinking about a particular incident that happened, you know, recently. Watch your words. You don't want to end up on the wrong side of the fence when dealing with the Lord, man. Hey, man, that's scary just thinking about it. You know, a lot of those people, when we out on the block, and they're causing, they're basically cursing us, right? They want something bad to happen. You know, hey, we believe that in these people's normal lives, hey, shit has happened unto them, man. There's been evidence, all right, of shit happening to people. You spoke swelling words against the Lord's little ones, man. Lord willing, we of that nature, that number. All right, but things of that nature happen all the time. People curse themselves by trying to curse, all right, the men of the Lord. And the Lord's so cold, he'll make it happen the same way you intended, as we just read, man. And as, you know, for you brothers who know of those accounts, and I wish this dude name, but he was into that not Pan-Africanism, but that New York shit, man. I remember Brother Polite, right? His recompense was likened unto Haman. The same shit he tried to sow discord with, the Lord brought that same calamity upon him, and basically posterized it all over Israel for the world to see, man, to see that the Lord will make an example out of you. This is my last precept. Still got to get ready. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse 31. And it reads, what shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? You see? So to hell with those that speak, swelling words against us or make mockery. All right? Proverbs, the first chapter, tell you that. Hey, the Lord gonna mock them. You see? But it's just our turn to go through these different things and defend the gospel. The Lord want to see us defend the gospel on all ends. Excuse me. All right, but like I say, man, if the Lord be for us, who can come against us? Because the Lord is the one moving the chess pieces. You see, He the one setting up the traps. He the one that's alerting us to the traps. He's giving us the insight. You know, He's moving all of these components to this game we call life, man. So Lord willing, that was edifying and straight into the point. Salaki, if I got long-winded, but this was just burning on me. I had to get it off. So without any further ado, I'd like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to Ophilek, Shalom, and Abba Ball.